Hey guys, this is not going to be like a normal video. I just wanted to get down to earth with you guys. Um, uh, I don't even know how to start this video. Um, Now, of course, you know, when I first started this channel, I didn't really have high expectations. Um, and it started simply enough, and it was it was a miracle that got this far. And the comments over the years, some good, some bad, um, some of them were very sweet, very supportive. Some of the people ask questions. I try to help when I can. Um, Look, I'm still a small channel. I'm not like a big, massive channel or anything like that. But I just wanted to say thank you. I don't say thank you often enough as I should. Um, but it really does mean a lot to me, knowing that you at least found, like, if you're new to this channel or if you're a long standing subscriber, um you know I really do, it really does mean a lot that at least you considered my channel to be at least worth your time. um and I always wanted to focus on community first. um Community first was always most important. I don't do it for views. I don't make videos for views. I don't make videos for money. I don't make videos for fame. I don't do YouTube for fame. That was like the farthest from my mind. I just try to have fun. I tried to, just make videos that hopefully people will, find interesting, or it's like, oh yeah, like I'll watch this. Um and I always felt that I wanted to make a community first, you know, it like this, because this is just not just my channel, it's also your guys' channel as well. Um, and I wanted to make a place where people feel heard. Because personally, I know what it's like to feel unheard. I know what it's like to feel unnoticed. I know what it's like to feel like your voices, what you have no voice, even though you vocally do, but like no voice as in no voice as in you aren't being heard by other people around you. um and growing up an only child, I really didn't have a voice, right? And having autism and dealing with autism and ADHD and bipolar and everything that comes with those things, it was even harder for me to communicate how I actually felt. And it took me years to find my voice, right? There are some things that sometimes that I struggle, and there are sometimes that I do find, especially with my parents, right? um I've always been a people pleaser, and I've always been told what to do, right, throughout my entire life, and I never really did anything for myself. um it's really taken me until my 30s to really figure out that I do have a voice, and I do, and it's technically my life, right? And it's one of those things where I can go on, right? I can go on and tell them about my life, tell you guys about my life, right? It just, no, man. I'm just so grateful for everything that I've had. Um, gra- Grateful for my parents, and everything they gave me. Um, and like I said, and I just wanted to, like, whether or not I'm making videos, or um whether or not I'm making videos or live streaming, I always try to have a welcoming community. Um, and we chat about a lot of things, right? Video games, and just anything really. Um, and just I it's okay to feel defeated sometimes, right? I felt defeated many times throughout my life. It's okay to feel lost. Um, but it's what you do in spite of that. It's what you do after that. That like sure you like okay, you get knocked down, you get back up kind of thing, right? Um, it's what you do after you're defeated that really does make you grow. And that was one of the things that I had to learn the hard way because I was always getting knocked down and always being helped. I never once um because I always had help, you know. I always had help, you know, getting back up, right? I'm just now starting to learn to get back up and to tell myself it's going to be okay, even though the world seems a little bit hectic right now. Um, I tried to not to think about the world, right? Right, and just focus on what I love to do, right? I wanted to do YouTube for years, right? I wanted to do YouTube since I would say 2011 when Skyrim first came out. I'm just going to give you an example. But it took me years to really bring up the confidence saying I'm going to do this. I was working part-time jobs and everything. I wasn't having, fun at those jobs. I was working retail, right? Um, it wasn't until COVID where I finally got an opportunity, and like I said, I don't say this often enough, but I really do appreciate you guys. And anyone who sees this video afterwards, if you see this video afterwards as a new viewer, just know that I thank you for at least taking the time out of your day to at least check out my channel. I don't do vlogs often, right? But I do a lot of Let's Plays. I do a lot of, videos that revolve around Let's Plays. Um, and um, it's just one of those things where I just, I feel comfortable with it. And having a community as supportive as this, right? Even though you guys may not comment or whatever, I don't mind. At least I know that you guys do somewhat watch me because I actually got a comment on one of my oldest subscribers, um, where his life got like life work got in the way, but he said he still watches me, and so that I really did it really did make me think that maybe my audiences hasn't left me, right? Maybe they still watch me just behind the scenes, um, and or whenever they watch my videos, um, and yeah. Well, like I said, if you're new to this channel, welcome on in. I this is a very wholesome community, very wholesome. Whether or not I'm live streaming, or whether or not I'm just making videos. Um, I really truly do appreciate you all, right? For at least one checking out my videos, or at least finding it somewhat entertaining. Um, and look, before you ask, I don't talk a lot in my videos. If you watch any of my older content, or any of my content for that matter, I don't talk a lot because I'm not a sociable person. Never have been, right? I'm very introverted. Um, and um, but in like a one-on-one small group setting, whatever, I can talk, right? You just got to get me out of my shell, got to give me time. But in a large group setting, no. But when I'm going live and live streaming, or just just chill in my room, I really don't. You know, I like interacting with people that way. Um, and like I said, I really do. I just wanted to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to, and look, I'm not leaving YouTube, so don't worry about that. But um, I will say that, I just want to create a safe space for people to have, to feel like they're being heard and feel like they are being, you know, listened to, right? Because, like I said, I know what it's like to not being listened to and to being told that, oh, this stream is not that, and this stream is like it's not realistic and everything like that. I know what it's like. My parents do it to me all the time, and they're very old school, right? They're very old school. It's like, no, you have to be a, astute member of society, or a, helping member of society, or whatever the saying is. And it's like you have to have a part-time job, blah 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 blah. And I'm always being told that, um like, well, you have to have money to buy the things you want to buy, and and everything. And like, yes, to a point that's true. And my biggest thing is that, you know I don't make enough money from streaming or YouTube. I don't, as a matter of fact, I don't make any money at all for my videos. My videos don't get like the massive views, and and I don't expect them to, right? My videos are very minimal. I don't edit anything, and that's my authenticity. I stay true to myself. Maybe someday I'll hire an editor, right? And just, but I'm not there yet. Um, but yeah. Anyways, that's pretty much it. And you know, and in terms of just everything that's been going on in the world, I know life seems very bleak, but I try to be on the positive side, even though there's a lot of doom and gloom on the internet and a lot of idiots. Um, but yeah, just know that, I just wanted to make a very wholesome community. That's all I ever wanted to do. It wasn't about me. It was never about me. I never made this channel for myself, right? I made it so people can be like-minded and be welcomed, and um to be listened to, and to be recognized, and to be let know, right? It's like, oh, well, um and I know that's not, I'm not trying to tell you what you want to hear. I'm trying to tell you, it's like, it's okay to be defeated. But what you do, as I said, what you do when you're defeated, when you feel let down, when you are struggling, what are you going to do to get back up? You're down on the ground. Now what are you going to do to get back up and just keep going? I think that's what makes a true adult, I think. Being able to get knocked down, say you're fired from a job or whatever the case may be, which I was fired from my last job, which is why I don't have one right now. But I'm still trying to look for one, even though it's not going well for me. I'm still struggling. So, anyways, guys, I'll catch y'all later. Just know that, and just know that, you are worth it. I think. And, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for you guys. I wouldn't be doing this constantly if it wasn't for you guys. And that's just something that I've always believed. Anyways, I'll catch y'all later.